course, Bill Belichick. 5 Super Bowl wins. He wears a hoodie. He's a little surly in the press conferences and the whole 9 yards. But that's the perception of many. You guys know him pretty doggone well, and it's anything but what they're seeing in those sessions.
Well, you know, it's kind of interesting. In 1999, my dad passed away on Thanksgiving at a stroke, and lo and behold, the back of the funeral home, there's Bill Belichick sitting there. I'd never played for Bill Belichick. I only interviewed Bill Belichick. I knew him as a defensive coordinator, knew him when he was with the Giants, with the Jets, and it just blew me away that he took time to come to my dad's funeral, and it was amazing to me. I've covered him for a number of years. I've had a couple cocktails with him. He is totally different than what you see on the field, and I know Phil and Ray know this. He's a guy. He's a football guy, you know, and that's what he is. But what he really, truly is for all of us is he is a PhD football coach. Yeah. He thinks the game differently than everybody. He adapts to the game differently than everybody, and he's lucky to have what I believe is the greatest quarterback in the history of the game in Tom Brady.
Yeah, I think it goes all the way back to 2000. For me, you go all the way back to those days when we started to win. And one of the games in 1999 that we had to win with New England, but what we found out was who Bill Belichick really was. And so what I found out as a player was when we started to actually walk into the middle of the field and meet each other, he would walk up and he would say, "The greatest I've ever seen."
Oh, he's great. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, he would just always, Tom, same thing. It was just the respect that we had for each other. The battles that we had over the years, they were so amazing for one simple reason. We will always show each other respect on and off the field.
You saw him during that game right there. You know, he wasn't playing to the cameras.
No.
And people always ask me, when do you think he's going to, you know, quit? Well, I don't see the end because the guy you see there, that's how he marches every week.
Yep.
So he burns little energy, nothing. Hey, they win the Super Bowl. You know, we won the Super Bowl. Well, we lost the Super Bowl. And he just goes on from there.
No days
That's
off.
what I love about him. You know, a couple things. I was a holder all through high school and college of the football for the kicker. Bill Belichick, special teams coach, 1979. I'm the first-round draft pick of the Giants. He's a special teams coach. Saw him out there holding the football. And after the first day, the second day, I get ready to get down there and do it. And he goes, Sims, you can go in. You can just go on in there. That's enough. I was like, wow, you know, give me more. But that's the way Bill is, you know. And when you talk about him, announcing games, he would quiz me to make sure I did homework for the game. So every time I would do a New England game, it would make me nervous knowing, well, I better really study up because he's going to ask me a question. And if I don't know the answer, it's insulting to him.
Hall of Famer Jim Brown has had the same kind of accolades, if you will, respect for Bill Belichick because Belichick, is involved in social causes. Whenever Jim Brown calls him, he's there talking to gang members and the like. So what is it that does he purposely hide himself publicly in terms of what
he did at Boomer's father's funeral? That's really Bill Belichick. Right. He shows up for everybody.
I don't think he purposely hides it. I just think it's who he is. And sometimes, you know, people get on TV and they create all these personas and things, but this is an old school football coach. He's a father figure guy. And I think, honestly, when you look in his eyes, I can see myself seriously playing for him.
The thing that really amazes me about what he has created up there, and obviously winning has a lot to do with it, it's just the simplistic, the approach where nobody is talking about anything but football. All these other teams in the league, the other 31, all have so much drama surrounding them. They're all talking about so many different things. What do the Patriots talk about? They just talk about the next game. They don't worry about it. They asked the Patriots, you heard Mike Tomlin, he was talking about, you know, week 15 and then possibly in the playoffs. We haven't even talked about Pittsburgh yet.
Yeah.
That's the simplistic approach, and it's the only approach that obviously works for them.
I will go back to what you said to start. You know, he's a normal guy. When you're around him, he has a very dry sense of humor. Like if somebody shows up late for one of our production meetings, oh, the game's not big enough for you, you know, whatever. He'll do that, which is really awesome. But the one thing he does, how does he control his football team and all that? Tom Brady came into a meeting with us once, and he says, and he was all mad, and I hope they're okay with me telling the story. I said, what are you upset about? He goes, well, you think I never completed a pass around here the way they talk to me. And I go, really? He goes, yeah, Belichick shows I missed a little 5-yard out cut in a practice. And he had it up there. I mean, any high school player could make this throw, and we got a quarterback, and Brady's just sitting there taking it. Because what's he doing when he says that, James? He's telling the rest of the team, I can get on him. I can coach you.
Yeah. So give me the fundamental stuff, and that's exactly what I'll do. All right, folks, from the great Bill Belichick, we turn now to his counterpart on the losing sideline at Super Bowl 51. Here's Atlanta head coach Dan Quinn, mic'd up for the Falcons' crucial NFC South encounter with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.